Yeah. No,
Did you know, Julia, that your boot campers are all meeting there on Tuesday to go?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know.
There's 5 of us.
Oh, brilliant. Gosh, I really wish I was in the UK. Okay, so thank you all very much for coming along today. We're going to be, just by the way, can everybody hear me? Yeah, all good on that front? Yeah, excellent. I'm recording the meeting and I will have the recording link available to share with you either later today or tomorrow. In the meantime, I think because there might be quite a few of us, it might be good if you could keep your mics off unless you actually want to speak, just in case there's any sort of background noise that causes interference for other people. And I think probably that's all the housekeeping that I need to do. So we're here today to talk about marketing tips, and these are specifically for residential interior designers. So I'm going to be going through 6 different things that you need to consider as you plan your marketing specifically to your residential interior design practice. So now, obviously, I have got a presentation that I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to open that up now. It should take about half an hour. And at the end of that, there's going to be time for Q&A. So hopefully we'll get through that quite quickly, and then we can move on and have a chat about some of the concepts. So I'm going to share the presentation. And can you all see that? Is that showing? Yep, excellent. Okay, so we're here to talk about hot marketing tips for residential interior designers, and the agenda for today. This is an introduction to marketing concepts which affect residential interior designers. So I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to me. Then we're going to look at the sales funnel. We're going to be looking at brand positioning. I'm going to talk to you about you because you are incredibly important. We'll have a little chat about your ideal client. We'll think about the services that you're offering. We're going to talk about writing a marketing plan, and then I'm going to touch on AI. Now, I'm going to show you an example of how AI can help with this, but I'm not today going to show you how to do that because I'm actually running an AI webinar later this month, which is just about that. So today is all about marketing. I am Julia Begbie. I know quite a few of you now, actually. Some of you I know from my work at KLC School of Design, where I was a director, and I was there for about 20 years. But also I had a business partner, and alongside my teaching for about 25 years, I've been working as an interior designer. And I've worked mostly on residential projects, from large through to small, so a fairly broad range of experience in that. Now what I do is I produce professional materials to help support residential interior designers, and the main way that I fund this, which I hope to do for everybody's benefit for free a lot of the time, is I run a boot camp 3 times a year, and I'll talk to you about that very briefly later on. And I do that alongside one-to-one business coaching. So that is me. So now, starting with our marketing considerations, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the sales funnel. And this is important because when I ask the students who come on my boot camp what it is that they most want to achieve as a result of completing the program, the majority of them, among other things, will say that they want to get better clients. And the fact is that your marketing activities, they're a bit like you're in the jungle. Your clients are out there somewhere. Your prospective clients, you haven't met them yet. You can't see them. And you're banging out a rhythm on your drums, and you're hoping to attract in your clients. Now, if the clients that are turning up are not necessarily the ones that you really want to work with, It could actually be that the message that you're putting out, the rhythm that you're beating, is the wrong message. So when my boot campers say that they want better clients, they're talking about clients who have a greater appreciation of design skills, clients who are open to a bit more sort of creative expression, and of course, clients with larger budgets. And if we're actually hoping to attract a very particular type of client, then we need to put some really careful thought into the message that we're banging out and projecting out to those prospective clients. So I'm going to talk to you about the sales funnel. And the sales funnel is the journey that your clients go on as they pass through your marketing on the way to making a purchase. So I've got a rough graphic here that shows you what a sales, a rough diagram of a sales funnel. And it starts at the very top with a period called reach. And reach is the point at which your future client first finds out about you. So they know nothing about you, and then all of a sudden you come into their orbit and they gain an awareness of you. So the very first awareness is the awareness of reach. You then want to try to pull these clients closer into your orbit, and you do this through a marketing period, which is called nurture. And nurture is as you begin to build a relationship with your prospective client, they're starting to trust you, they're starting to like you, but they're not yet ready to engage with you commercially. That happens at the next point in the funnel, which is when you start to get an opportunity to sell to them, because they've liked what they've seen, they've got some business to deliver, and they feel comfortable now in considering taking the journey with you. Once they sign up, they move down into the sort of the final area of the funnel, which is when you get the opportunity to deliver your services. And this is all part of the client experience. So the success that you have in delivering your services and making your clients happy is all part of that period, because as they depart your sales funnel, they're still really important. You want to create an army of disciples who tell the world how fantastic you are. And we'll talk too about how you can engage with that particular part of the marketing process. So the reason that this is quite interesting is that clients at different stages of your sales funnel have different tolerances for hearing from you. So at the reach point, it's said that the most that a client will give you in the reach period is 3 minutes. Now, actually, it could be more like 10 or 20 seconds. It's click on, click off, it's first impressions. So that means that when you're making your marketing materials, you have to have in mind that some of the people who consume your marketing have got this very short tolerance. And so we make materials that will appeal to them. Once they get to know you and they like what they've seen, then they're prepared to give you up to 30 minutes of their time. And that might be time that they spend reading a blog post or watching a video on YouTube, or engaging in something that is longer form. Now, obviously, we have to try to convert these people that we know are interested in our business. We can have them hanging around enjoying all of the material we're producing, but at some point we need to try to convert them. And that's the point at which we start trying to sell. And a good rule of thumb for you is that for the clients who are, more mature within your funnel, you want to be giving them a CTA, a call to action, about a quarter of the time. So 1 in 4 of your marketing activities would include, click here to read my latest blog, or click here to, comment below and tell me what you think about this thing. Or it could actually be a direct pitch to sell them some service. So it's what's called jab, 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 hook, where, you know, three quarters of the stuff that you put out is informative and helpful and attractive. And then each fourth time you have something that you're trying to encourage those potential customers to do. Delivery is pretty obvious. You have an important job to do there, and you have to impress your clients. But then when we get down to the mobilize area, something that I'll point to later on in the presentation is you need as well to be continuing to communicate with your past clients, because they are the people that will give you references and that will recommend you on to other people. And you do have to keep an awareness of your business at the front of their mind. So that's better handled by having something like an email list, and by sending a quarterly newsletter or a newsletter updating your clients and just letting them know what you've been up to. So that is your sales funnel. And so my very first tip to you is that in order, you have to thoughtfully tailor your marketing to serve clients who are at all stages of your sales funnel. And I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to show you how we can think about this at the end of the presentation. Okay, so that is tip number one. Whoops, sorry. Next up, I want to talk to you about brand positioning. So this is our second point. Now, I think many interior designers can't actually put their finger on what's special about their design services. You know, they haven't necessarily thought this through. One really helpful way of understanding your particular strengths, what you have to offer, is to take a really good look at your competitors. So when you look at your competitors and you look at how they are positioning themselves, you might be able to see some weaknesses. You might be able to see the fact that they aren't all that exciting as design prospects. And that will help you to identify aspects of your offering that make you special, that make you stand out from the people that you're competing against. So then you can refine your positioning to emphasize your recognizable, your notable superiority. So this is where brand positioning comes into it. Now, I did ask you to turn your microphones off just so that we didn't have any sort of background noise, but we're going to have a little quiz now. So if anybody wants to shout out, feel free. But for this very first one, any bootcamp graduates are not allowed to join in because you know the answer to this particular question. But this is a very well-known interior designer, and this person says that their business is dedicated to delivering multifaceted couture projects to the highest levels of design, offering a completely personalized service to each client around the world. Does anybody have any idea who this could be?
No.
We've got
Could be anyone.
Sorry, what was that?
It could be anyone. It's very
Could be
general.
anyone. Okay, well, this is a very specific person. So this person chooses to use the word couture. And I think that's a really interesting word, because I'm definitely not. I would love to be a couture client, but I'm not. You know, it's a stretch for me to be pret-a-porter. So I am not a couture client. So this designer, in the way that they've used their words, they've built this big wall around their business. And the only way over that wall is in a private jet. So, you know, they have really established their positioning with that. And this is what Kelly Hoppen says about.
I was going to say her, but I thought it was too obvious.
Too obvious. Well, there we go. Okay, I'm going to I've got two more, and these are fresh ones. I haven't done these ones before, so anybody is welcome to join in. So the next one says, we design responsive homes that support and embrace people's physical, emotional, and psychological wants and needs. We design environments that bring people together to eat, work, play, learn, and heal, prioritizing care and well-being at a systemic and not surface level. Any ideas?
Ilse Korsted.
I heard it, yes. Ilse Crawford. So here she is. So, you know, this is what she's pitched all the way through her design business. And this is, you know, I think this encapsulates her. I've got one more. This is quite a fancy one. This business is rooted in the exploration of elemental dichotomies. Central to the practice is a progressive outlook in constant pursuit of new expressions powered by the latest technologies and grounded by a deep appreciation of craft, history, and context. This is a difficult one.
That sounds like a William Morris.
Well, that's very interesting. Maybe Kelly Wearstler is the William Morris of our time. Who knows? But my point in all of this is the words on the slide that you see right now are the words that are most commonly used by interior designers to distinguish themselves, to say what they do. And if you look at the websites of your competitors, you will probably find words like these. Now, I know that not everybody wants a business that's rooted in the exploration of elemental dichotomies. But the point is that you need to be able to say why you're different, because, you know, you've got all of these clients that you can't see circling you, and you're in your clearing, drumming out your message, and you need to pull them into the clearing. So point number 2 is the words that you find to describe your business, to position your brand, are crucial. Okay, I want to talk then about you, because you are probably the most important asset in your business. And I'm going to start with a very quick anecdote, which is that just recently I was looking for professional services, and someone was warmly recommended to me. And cut a long story short, when I looked online for them, I found 2 things. I found a very severe photograph, not smiling, and I found a block of text which didn't have any particular sort of humanity to it. And I didn't contact this person. And the reason I didn't was I don't like awkwardness. I didn't want to have to get into something and then pull myself out of it. And there wasn't enough encouragement there for me to step into the clearing and to engage with this person. So you are incredibly important. And so I'd like to do a thought experiment, which is imagine that your hairdresser, who you've worked with happily for years, is repatriating, and they're going back to Australia. And you have no other leads about who you're going to go to. So you start looking around for someone to replace this important person. And of course, you're looking at a portfolio. You know, you're looking at the portfolio of work that the hairdresser's done. You're looking at the salon, because you're going to have to sit there for whatever period of time. But I think most importantly, you're looking at the stylist, because I know with my fantastic hairdresser, who has nothing to do recently with my hair because of distance, but I look at her and she's aspirational. I love the way she dresses. I love the way she styles her salon. I like her attitude to life. She's about the same age as me. I want her to look at me and style my head, you know, in the way that she thinks is cool and interesting. So it's mostly about her. It's mostly about her. And in boot camp, you know, we've had people saying, oh, well, I had a client tell me that she decided to go with me because she liked my jumper. You know, so there's all this stuff going on, as well as all of the real marketing that you're working so hard on. So the advice is that you need to appear in your marketing materials you need to be in 10 to 40% of your marketing materials, and that is a lot. Here is Jojo Barr of House 9 Design, and if you look through her, you know, quite heavily video, it has to be said, Instagram feed, you will see that she's there, you know, 10 to 40% of the time. The same with Polly Wilkinson, her podcast co-host. So this is, this is an important consideration, appearing in your materials. So here you are in the center of this graphic, and the intense yellow dot is you in your head and the things that you think. But you put a filter around that. You don't say everything that's in your head, you filter that. And the next ring out are your friends and family, and they get to know most of you, but they don't share your innermost thoughts. Well, beyond that, there is another filter. And I'm going to call this your brand positioning filter, because when you're thinking about things like stories or what you're going to put out on your social media feeds, you need to be thinking about the brand, how formal or informal your brand is, how much you want to share. And so there's quite a consideration to make in terms of, how friendly and immediate you want to appear to be, or how reserved and perhaps not more professional, but a little bit more distant or exclusive you want to be. So this is another account, an account I admire, lovely, lovely work, called Horsch Interiors. And they also appear 10 to 40% of the time in their feed. But whenever they appear, it's in a very formal setting. So they have a brand positioning that is quite restrained, it's quite formal. And so that is how their appearances within their social media feed pans out. So point 3, tip 3, you have to appear in your posts and social media feeds, and oh my God, on video, if you can possibly bear it. And those appearances need to be on brand. So you have to get your brand positioning sorted out in order to know that. So then we're going to look at your clients. And I'm suggesting that for many of us, we're thinking about the message we want to put out on marketing. Perhaps we need to reverse that perspective. We need to think about who our ideal client would be, the person that we most want to attract, the kind of person that we most want to attract. And we then need to think about what it is they want to read or what it is they want to hear. So the marketing messages, the transmissions that we put out to the public, they have to be tailored in order to attract our ideal client. And an ideal client is maybe based, this concept of an ideal client is maybe based on clients that you've enjoyed working with in the past. Or you could have a vision of prospective clients that you want to work with. And of course, this is going to be limited by your geographical area, by what's actually physically possible. So there's an amount of realism that has to come into this too. But another consideration is you have to take your marketing to where your clients live, to their natural habitat. And we're all over on the left, we're visual people, we love design, we spend a lot of time on Instagram or similar platforms. Whereas if your answer to who is my perfect client is a partner at a Big 4 accountancy firm, a Magic Circle lawyer, a VC, a company CEO, those people are all over on LinkedIn. And that's their natural habitat. And there are very few designers terribly active over on LinkedIn. And yet I would imagine for these people, when they're first thinking about the fact that they need to renovate or they're looking to refurbish, that's where they live. And that's presumably where they're going to start to look. And the reason that I believe this is because I see some of the designers I've known as students go on to huge success. Many of them are actually quite active on LinkedIn. And I think that probably there is a causal link there. So it's very interesting for you to think about where you're doing your marketing, and the fact that the kind of marketing that you do on LinkedIn is a little bit different from the kind of marketing that you would be doing on Instagram. So following your clients to where you think they live and promoting your business there. So tip number 4, your marketing message must be carefully crafted to strike a chord with your ideal client. And furthermore, you have to deliver that message in that client's natural habitat. Okay, next up is your offer. So the services that you offer to your clients. Now, these services have to be designed to serve your ideal client. So imagine your sales funnel. You've got your client all the way to the front door. You're now going to tell them what you can do for them. They're ready to buy. You absolutely have to make sure that the thing that you're selling is what they need. So you think about their pain points, you think about, you do a great deal of thought about what it is that these ideal clients are going to want from you. And once you've figured it out, it can't be blurry or muddled or multi-choice. It has to be clearly defined and it has to be easily accessible. And I think anyone who's done bootcamp now knows exactly what I'm about to do, which is I'm going to show you a picture of a designer who I think has got the most beautiful sales funnel. And this is Kate Finch. And surprise, surprise, before she transitioned to working in interior design, she was in sales and marketing. And she does, so right now, Instagram wants to be TikTok. She makes these little short videos, TikTok-y style. They're very short, so they're good for reach. She has a bit more information in the caption, which is perhaps good for nurture. Instagram pushes her videos because they look like TikTok. Then she has got the clearest path to accessing her products, because if you click on her bio, you go straight to a link tree, which takes you straight to an opportunity to there and then buy a consultation with her. Literally just click straight through, click pay and meet her. Now, I don't have any privileged access into her business, but what it appears to me she's doing is she's triaging people through this consultation service. And every now and then she'll show you on stories a fantastic street of expensive houses where she's just off to meet her new clients. And I would imagine that she has met that client as a result of this deal flow that she's creating on Instagram, which is pushing people through her business with paid consultancy. So it's the slickest thing I think I've seen on Instagram. I think it's a fantastic case study. So tip number 5 is that your short, clear menu of services must meet the specific needs of your ideal client. Something else to think about. Okay. Next, I want to talk about the marketing plan. Now, I'm afraid this is a bit of a trick one, because I don't think you can write a marketing plan in isolation. I don't think you can sit down with a template marketing plan if you haven't done the pre-work, which is strategically planning your business and creating financial forecasts for your business. And creating financial forecasts means thinking about the different revenue streams that you have, thinking about the future growth of your business and how you would like that to unfold, modeling that and seeing what happens when you tweak in one direction or tweak in another direction, and thereby creating targets for your business in terms of how many extra clients you want to bring in, how much you want to charge, how much what services you want to provide and maybe transition to. And all of that information about your business and what you do and who does it and what services you offer, all of that comes together and drives your marketing plan, because your marketing plan is the action that you take to make all of these things come true. So your marketing plan defines your business, it defines your clients, it defines your offer, it sets targets and goals. So it says, my goal by the end of the year is to increase my social media following by X. My goal by the end of the year is to have sold twice as many of these consultations as I did last year. My goal is to have created, 3 new leads via LinkedIn. And you set all of these goals, and that becomes what drives your day-to-day activities. So your to-do list for the week comes out of all of this strategic planning. Okay, so that's your marketing plan. Now, I have got a template marketing plan, a very, very basic one that I can send to anybody, and I'll give you some information on that in a minute, if you'd just like to have a look at a very basic marketing plan and start thinking about it. Now, you are in my sales funnel. So what I do most of the time is I produce what I hope are useful, thought-provoking materials to help residential interior designers. But in order to fund me to do that, I run a course 3 times a year, which is called the Recipe for Success Business Bootcamp. And it is a live online course, as well as being one-to-one coaching individually with the students who are on that course. So we do some of the stuff in the classroom together as peers, and we do work exclusively on your business one-to-one with me. So it's a 5-week program, 5 hours from you per week, and it includes 5 one-on-ones with me, plus a bonus one-on-one, which we have about 3 months later to reflect on the targets that you set and to make sure that your progress towards these is going along satisfactorily. So it's 5 modules, which includes your working with clients, running your business and yourself. And of course, it includes the business planning, financial forecasting and marketing. Now, I hate this kind of thing myself. The next course is running 17th of September to 17th of October. And I am doing an early bird offering. Now, I think that those things feel slightly distasteful, but the fact is, if I can sort out my September course, then I can spend the next couple of months actually making nice supportive materials rather than having to focus so much on marketing. So I'm very keen to sort out my cohort for September. And I would say that when I'm looking for students for bootcamp, I'm looking for people who have at least 3 years experience working in interior design. So people who you could be working for somebody else, that's fine, but you need to have at least 3 years experience. And the thing that absolutely defined the first bootcamp, which is just finished, and some of the graduates are here, was how supportive and collaborative those people were. So I'm looking for people who want to work as part of a peer group, maximum 12 people, to help other people as much as they help you. So this idea of peer working, sharing experiences, sharing materials is a really important part of the program. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to just give you some contact information at the end. Before I wrap up, I want to touch on AI. And as I said, I've got information on this. I'm going to be doing an AI webinar at the end of the month. So I'm going to get into how you do it. But when I see what's on the screen right now, you need to appear 10 to 40% of the time. You have to include a call to action 25% of the time. You need to serve clients at all stages of the sales funnel. You need to make materials that social media channels will promote. You need to entice clients by demonstrating your uniqueness. You need to post 3 to 5 times a week. And you need to market on the platforms where you're most likely to meet your ideal clients. That makes my head hurt. This feels like a day's work to me just to get the back of it broken. So what I did was I put it into GPT-4, which is my preferred AI support, and it really helped me to produce a posting schedule for marketing based on the principles that I've been discussing in this webinar. And I've got a whole month of this, but I'm just showing you sort of an example 1 week on the front page. And again, if anybody wants this, I'm really happy to share this document. So I'll give you my contact information so you can get in touch to get it. But AI is incredibly powerful, and it gets you 70% of the way on many of the tasks that we regularly undertake. So I'm going to talk to you about the webinar in a minute, but I just want to give you your sixth final tip, which is that you need a detailed and instructive marketing plan based on a well-researched business plan and aspirational financial forecasting in order to be able to, generate this helpful, constructive, relevant marketing program for your business. So before we go to Q&A, I just wanted to mention that I'm running a webinar on the 27th of June, and this is going to be from the point of view of beginners. We're going to look at artificial intelligence and how it could help you transform your practice. I'm going to be starting at the very beginning, talking about what AI is, telling you how to access it and how it works. And we're going to look at some suggested use cases and how you could get started. So all of that is part of this webinar that I'm going to be doing on the 27th of June. And I record my webinars and they're all available to watch afterwards as well. So if you can't make it, then there will be an opportunity later on to review it if you would like. So that's my email address. If you want to join the AR webinar, drop me a line. If you wanted to see the demo scheduler, I'm happy to share that. If you have any questions about Bootcamp, then that's the best way to get me. Or alternatively, I have my website. It's got other materials on it that you might be interested in. And it's where people can go if they're interested in booking Bootcamp, or if you want to speak to me about business coaching or the e-board meetings that I run for Bootcamp graduates. So I think we've done it in 37 minutes. So I'm sorry, that really was quite a rollick, but I'm going to stop the sharing now. And it's free for all. So if anybody wants to ask any questions about any of that, then I would love to hear it.
How much time would you recommend out of your working week that you'd actually spend on the marketing? Or you're shaking your head going, this is obviously a silly question.
No, Anna, no, it's not a silly question. It's a question that I don't like the answer to.
Yeah.
When I first started working, the guidance was that you, in a 5-day week, you would spend 1 day a week on admin and business, and then you had 4 days a week to work with your clients. So that was the advice. That was years ago. I think it's getting closer now to half and half. So about half the week is all of this stuff, and the other half, maybe it's 2 days a week, is admin and marketing. In the breakdown that I did, I tried to restrict marketing to 4.5 hours a week. So, that was to get across all of the different platforms and to have some long form and some short form and to be hitting all points in the funnel and all of that. Now, if you want to keep it simple, you could probably get some stuff up on Instagram if you were very clever. Maybe if you gave it like, it's going to come down to about the same. It's probably, 4 hours a week, I would say, on marketing. Does anybody have a view? Does anyone here have a experience and a view? No? Okay.
I mean, I keep a day for admin generally. If the schedule doesn't get messed up with somebody having to be on site that day and all the rest of it. So it does get a bit catch as catch can sometimes. If I have a clear week, it all works normally, then that's absolutely fine. And that's why I have Indy, is to do social media marketing and things like that, because way back when I was training, it was so long ago that we were asking, do I need a website? And, obviously things are, moved on quite a bit. And I still feel like I'm catching up on all of this.
Well, actually, I was LinkedIn is great because you get a lot of marketing advice on LinkedIn from the posting of experts, and people I love to follow For example, Grace Andrews, who is Stephen Bartlett's head of marketing. So Diary of a CEO, she is his head of marketing, Grace Andrews. And she did a fantastic webinar just last week on using AI in marketing. And so there's lots of great resources for support on places like LinkedIn. But I do think that, you know, you're probably, to do the job well, you're probably looking at, I don't know, half a day, 4 hours a week, something like that. Any other questions?
When you say a day for admin, would you say that's like a set day and you use the whole day up? Because I find I do bits and pieces every single day of all sort of the whole job all the time.
Yeah.
And I wish I could kind of compartmentalize it a bit.
I have a sort of planning meeting with myself every Monday morning, and I plan exactly, of course it never works out, but I plan how I'm going to spend my week. And I'll try doing what's called task batching, which is, you know, pulling together as many admin tasks as I possibly can and putting them into one time slot. So having, you know, to-do lists that are for different types of working. I'm just trying to think, there's, you know, this is a time management question. And I'm just trying to think of a good resource for you for that. But yeah, but what I would do is I plan everything on a Monday morning. I take about half an hour on a Monday morning to plan the entire week. It's worth it. And then I try to pull everything together that I possibly can and get it all done in one hit. That's how I prefer to work. Any other questions?
Yes, thanks, Julia. That was really informative. Thank you. I'd love to jump on the AI webinar, but I'm actually in London that day. Is it going to be recorded?
Yes, it will be. It will be.
Okay.
If you drop me I don't put it public on YouTube, so you'll need to ask me for the link. So just drop me a line and I will send you the link.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that I advertised this as being sort of about half an hour to 45 minutes, and we're just coming up on the 45 minutes. I have recorded it. I know it was a gallop. So if anybody wants to just get in touch with me, and I'll send you the link once this is ready to watch. It'll be a private YouTube video. So send me the link and I will send me your email and I'll send you the link. Okay. Okay, well, thank you
so
very
much,
much for
Julia.
attending.
Thank you so
I'll
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely
be in
lovely.
touch soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julia. Bye.